your sight, O Lord. Amen.
Amen.
Please be seated. Good morning.
Good morning.
It is so good to be back in Maryland. There are definitely worse places to be stranded for a year and a half than Berkeley, California. But that place is 3,000 miles from here and the people that I love. So I'm so glad to be back and be in my home congregation and be visiting with friends and family this summer. The theme for this week's sermon just jumped out at me right away as I read through these readings. And that theme is how God invites us to rest. So we're going to talk about rest this morning. Who here has ever been called a workaholic? I think some of you aren't raising your hands. I think there's more of you. We work through our lunch break, we bring our lunch to our desk, we take work home with us. We have this, our society has this addiction to work, to producing things, and to productivity. And God invites us to rest. When the apostles gathered around Jesus in the gospel, it says, they told Jesus all the things that they had done and taught. They're coming back to their boss to report what they had done. They're like, this is all the work we did. We did this, we taught this, we healed these people. And Jesus said, come here and rest a while. He didn't say, oh, good job, or what was hard, or what was easy. There was no feedback about the work. He just said, come and rest. You didn't even have the leisure to eat. You were working so hard, you did not even take a break to eat. Come and rest. And we are not the first people who have recognized that we need to rest. The psalmist in the psalm today, as John said, this is like the most well-known psalm in the Bible, Psalm 23. This psalmist is responding to God's invitation to rest and says, God makes me lie down in green pastures and leads me beside still waters and revives my soul. God invites us to rest, and we've known since the beginning to respond to that. And I personally have also known to respond to that. I'll share a story that I have gotten Dina's permission to share of a time when Dina, as my spiritual leader, invited me to rest. So as she mentioned, when I was in college and undergrad, I taught Sunday school here for a few years. And after one Sunday, there was some kind of barbecue or something happening at Dina's house, and I had said I would, help prepare things, go to the store, get the last minute vegetables, whatever. When I walked out of the church and Dina walked out of the church, we're headed to our cars, and she looked at me and she was like, Sarah, I used to be your boss. And I was like, that is true. Because the first time I met Dina was actually over in this parish hall when she was interviewing me to be a camp counselor out at Claggett. And so she was my supervisor at camp for 2 summers. She was like, so sometimes I can tell kind of what you need, because that camp counseling job is really intense. We're there 24 hours a day, really in it with each other. She looked at me and she was like, I think you should go home and take a nap. She was like, you can sleep in this bed or in this bed or on the couch. This is what time we'll be home. So if you sleep on the couch, we'll wake you up just from walking in the door. But go home and rest. She invited me to rest rather than come and help do the last minute preparations for this gathering. Because in order for me to be in that community, to enjoy that gathering, and for the community to enjoy my presence, I needed to be my best rested self. God invites us to rest. Dina invited me to rest. so that we can return to just setting things down, letting things go, remembering that we are, as humans, we are not in control of everything, and we cannot do everything, no matter how hard we might try or want to. For me to be in community that day, I needed to rest rather than chop vegetables. That would get done somehow, some way, but I needed to rest. And all of you who go to Kentucky or have been to Kentucky, I've been on that mission trip 4 times, but it's been a couple of years. Now my dad has outnumbered me in his tenure there. Brian Kibler, the director, he understands that need for rest too. And we understand it when we're there. Like Dina said, up on roofs doing hot work with tearing up roof, nailing down roof. I think this week they were doing a lot of drywall with flooding. Previously, I've helped build an additional room to a house. So we literally we were kind of climbing up on what looked like a jungle gym that was made out of wood, but not safe for children. And for us to be able to do that work, to do it safely with power tools and in the hot summer sun, we have to take really good care of ourselves and rest. We can't run on empty. And so Bryant has us on usually about Wednesday. We only work in the morning. And in the afternoon, he sends us on a hike. Or down to the downtown Berea, where there's Berea College University, which is just a really cool place. Every time I learn more about that school, I'm like, what a neat place to go. And we just get to be in community with one another. If we're not the driver, we actually do get to really sleep and rest in the car. And we get to just be in community. We go to the little mom and pop stores, have a refreshing meal, and enjoy the labors of our work and the work of people around us who are feeding us and taking care of us and taking care of the land that we're on. God invites us to rest so that we can be renewed. Bryant invites us to rest in Kentucky so that we can be renewed and be able to do the work with God's people in God's kingdom. Dina invited me to rest so that I could be in community with people. And Jesus invited his disciples to rest, the apostles. We are humans. We are not machines. Yes, it's the 21st century, and I'm being video recorded right now, but we are not machines. Even when we can tell our lights to turn on and off with our voices, we still are not machines. Humans are still part of the animal kingdom, and we need to rest. So this week and into the future, as we're kind of re-entering society in this world, post-pandemic, I want to remind you and remind myself as much as you that we need to remember God's invitation to rest and respond to it. It's going to be really easy to wear ourselves out as we re-enter and start doing things. As I said, I'm back from California for the first time in a year and a half. I'm here for a whole month. And the night before I left, my friend came over and we were talking, and I was telling her the whole outline of my month. I was like, I'm doing this, and then that day I'll leave at noon so I can make it to my stepsister's wedding, because she was supposed to get married in March of 2020, which obviously didn't happen. So we had the wedding just last weekend, and she was like, wow, that's a lot, it's gonna be fun, you're gonna see a lot of people. She's like, you're gonna be exhausted. I was like, yeah, I am. She's like, remember to take I hope you can also rest on this trip. and be renewed. So as God invites us to rest, I invite you to rest, and remember to invite each other to rest. Amen.
Amen.